Welcome to another story time. I'm Eric. Today we're going to be reading from The Amazing Man. The Amazing Man was the second comic book superhero ever after Superman. Number 5 was the first issue because they wanted people to think that it had been published ongoing for a little while. But in fact, their first issue was number 5. Centaur Comics was the publisher. And The Amazing Man was created by Bill Everett, who would later go on to create Submariner for Marvel. And The Amazing Man is credited as the inspiration for Marvel's superhero Iron Fist. So here we are from September of 1939, The Amazing Man by Bill Everett. A man known to his enemies by many aliases, the most terrifying of which is the Green Mist. 25 years ago, in the dismal country of Tibet, the Council of Seven chose an orphan of superb physical structure, and each did his part to develop in this child all the characteristics of a man who would dominate the world of men by his strength, knowledge, and courage. Mature now, the Amazing Man, A-Man, sits chained before the council, waiting for his final test before setting forth into the outside world. 6 of the council have endowed him with the benefits of kindness and tolerance and bravery. But a 7th, the Great Question, covets plans of dire evil for the perfect boy. In the council chamber, a sleep ray holds the lad motionless. Gentlemen, the time has at last arrived. We must qualify our efforts of the past quarter of a century. Our child prodigy shall now prove his station as an amazing specimen of ultra manhood. Prepare him for the first test. I, the strongest man in Tibet, have prepared the first examination of your physical strength. You are required to suppress the strength of an elephant. The first test. Well done, lad. He's no match for you. You have begun well. Thank you, sires. It was not difficult. I am ready for the next test. The next A-Man is not so easy. You are to be chained hand and foot and must fight a death struggle with the deadliest of our enemies. Let me introduce your combatant, the Honorable Cobra. The second test. Nearly helpless, A-Man crouches on the ground, paralyzed as the Cobra strikes. But with the speed and precision of a mongoose, A-Man strikes at the same instant. Again, well done, A-Man. Thou art quicker than lightning. But now we must test your capacity for withstanding pain. You are acquainted with Lady Xena, the knife thrower? She then is your next inquisitor. Stop! You will slay me. Hold, lad. No, A-Man, unless you become troublesome. Now, quickly does it. The third test. Neatly placed, Xena, and the pain is not unbearable, but what do you demand of me next? I can only stand just so much. Your physical tests are over, A-Man. You are nearly perfect. Now, A-Man, you may be seated while you answer these 1,000 diversified questions involving the languages of all the civilized and uncivilized countries. The fourth test. For many hours, the incessant questioning goes on, but A-Man never falters, and finally, You have successfully completed all of your examinations, young man, and are judged by the council to be ready for your venture into the outer world. Go now and prepare yourself. Finally, the verdict. Just a moment. I would have a word with you alone, Aman. Yes, Nika, what is it? Come into the laboratory, son. I have something to show you. You may recall my experiment with a formula to cause invisibility? Well, I have at last perfected it to a degree. There are certain complications, however. For instance, I shall inject this fluid hypodermically, and when it takes effect, you will, by the mere process of willing yourself to do it, be able to make yourself disappear. However, in your absence, there will come a thick mist, green in color. There, you see, you may feel ill for a moment, Aman, but it will pass. Now you are gradually fading. Excellent, Aman. My formula is a success. Now, please bring yourself back to visibility. Just imagine yourself in solid form, and you will be. Good, my boy. I will give you a vial of this fluid, which you must take faithfully once every week. Never forget. And there is one more thing. You must always remember your promise to me to always do good and never maliciously harm a brother human without just cause. Go now, my boy. Your ship is waiting. So, Nika has made him promise to do good, as he so quaintly puts it. Well, I shall correct that. Aman shall do always as I command him. He cannot escape my telepathic influence. Later, unconscious of the great question's evil plans for his welfare, Aman receives the High Lama's parting blessing and boards his plane. For many hours, the little ship hums eastward over Manchukuo and out over the Pacific, stopping only to refuel. After an uneventful passage across the sea, Aman pilots his plane to a gentle landing in Seattle, Washington. Here he learns interesting news. Just in from China, eh? Guess you haven't heard about the wreck on the Unionport Western line, then. The crack streamliner just cracked up near Sheridan, Wyoming. Back in his ship, soaring eastward again, Aman decides on a hunch to investigate the wreck. In a few hours, he darts down over the jumble of twisted steel and settles the little plane on an adjacent clearing. Here, partner, give us a hand with this here lad. Sure thing, cowboy. How long ago did the trains crack up? About 3 hours ago, I reckon. Fourth wreck in 2 months on this line. State don't like it at all. A man learns of other wrecks from the cowhand and of how the state suspects sabotage or other treachery. There's something loco about this here business. Something ought to be done. Railroad dicks ain't getting nowhere. Well, it's obvious that this switch was thrown over intentionally. It couldn't have been accidental. But say, what's this? Any of you boys drop a pencil? Nope, ain't none of us owns one like that. A silver lead pencil with the initial J on it. Not much to go on, but it might be a clue. Better turn it over to the police, mister. They know all about them things. Yes, maybe I will, but I've got to get to town and lodge this ship somewhere. There'll probably be an empty hangar at the airport, mister. I'll go along with you, seeing as you're keeping that pencil. Say, who's this feller? A federal cop? Hello, Mr. Crater. This is John Aman, reporter of The Star, covering the wreck of your streamliner. I have some important information and would like to talk to you personally. I'm on my way over now. At the airport, using a fictitious identity, A-Man telephones the president of the railroad company. No, Mr. A-Man, I can't understand it. All these accidents in 1 month. It's outrageous. Perhaps we'd better go out to the scene now in my private train. You can tell me what you know on the way. And at his office, he gets the president's personal cooperation. Well, young man, what is it you have to tell me? Say, what's that? Just a pencil, Mr. Crater. A silver pencil I found on the track, near the wreck. Know anything about it? No, Hello. What do you want, man? Mr. Crater, sir, there's a bridge washed out ahead. Stop the train. Stop! Engineer, let me have those controls. I'll fix this wreck. With lightning speed, A-Man jerks the throttle and the wreck-destined train speeds into reverse. Then, like a bullet, the president's special darts forward again, vibrating with power, and lunges over the gaping ravine like an arrow. Miraculously, it shoots down on the far side, hitting the rails wheel for wheel. Good grief, sir, how did you do that? Just a little song my mother taught me, Mr. Crater. She called me the Amazing Man. And in total ignorance of the true significance of A-Man's laughing remark, the president orders his private train to a stop near the wrecked streamliner. An extraordinary feat, Mr. A-Man. It gave me quite a shock, but about this wreck. Yes, let's take another look at the pencil. The initial seems to be J, but it's not too legible now. Let me show you a little trick of the Orient. By telepathic concentration, I shall cause this pencil to write of its own volition the name of its owner. There, you see? The trick has its foundation in the ancient art of psychic automatic writing. But look, the pencil writes Ulin. That's odd. J doesn't match up with the Ulin. There's something wrong. I feel very strange about this. Ah, I see. The left leg of the U has worn away. But hold a minute. I seem to be getting a thought message. Yes, Mr. Crater, something tells me that the person named Ulin is in this car this very minute. And since there are only two of us here, why, are you accusing me of this? I'll fix you, interloping coyote. Just a minute, Mr. Ulin. That gun won't do you a bit of good, I warn you. Oh, it won't, eh? Well, Mr. A-Man, the railroad doesn't need the likes of you butting into its affairs. Say your prayers, Mr. A-Man. Faster than lightning, A-Man leaps into action. Oh, no. We're not saying goodbye yet. You have a debt to pay first. And with a powerful blow, sends the criminal president sprawling to the floor. Yes, Ulin, before you say goodbye, you'll have to explain to a jury just why you wrecked your own trains. What did you do with the insurance money? You'll never know, Sherlock. Pardon me while I fade out, Ulin. Tell these lads about it. All right, Crater, we heard you. Will you come peacefully? Never! Crash! Too bad, old boy. Well, that finishes that. And so A-Man has started his worldwide crusade against crime. But what of the great question? Will his influence dominate A-Man in the next adventure? Watch for it in the next issue of Amazing Man Comics. Thanks for joining me tonight. Join me again next month for another story.